Welcome back, boys and girls. It's What the Hell Do You Know? What the Hell Do I Know with JB? I can't even get it right, but I'm so excited about this show. I'm always excited about shows, but today we have a combat Marine Corps veteran. He is a big supporter of Project 22. He works hard with the VA and help navigating it and creating better access for others. And in his spare time, he mentors high schoolers as an assistant wrestling coach. Heck of a dad, heck of a husband, heck of a son, so brother. He goes by the name of Sweet Feet, my kid brother, Nate Becker. Let's give him a Bmoney applause.
Becker in the house.
Say you were Sweet Feet.
In the house.
What the hell do I know? I'm just JB, middle-aged dad with ADD. Candid combos, jokes so lame, jabronis pulling a poker face. Just a couple of dudes with ADD. What the hell do I know with JB?
Yeah, Juice is gone.
Juice is gone, and I do want to say we have Juice here today.
Juice.
You know, there's Elf on a shelf, and there's Juice on the couch, and so it'll be coming to you this Christmas for $29.99. Juice on the couch. Yeah, no, Juice actually had death in the family, so I do want to let the audience know, though, you can be praying for him and his family.
That's right.
His mother-in-law just passed away, and so he had to excuse himself from this particular episode, and we love him and miss him, but still excited, though. The show must go on, and you're only in town for so long, and man, I'm just so glad you came in town and to visit me in a longer time. Sometimes I feel like it's like 3 or 4 days, but
it'll be 3 or 4 days.
It'll be a little longer than that, right?
It's about 4
I think
days.
we're going like 4. You're right. It's probably only 4 days.
Yeah.
But you're
gotta count
taking
the
a long
half.
vacation.
You
I
gotta
am
count the
counting my
half.
halves. But you know what? You're taking a longer vacation this year, though, than you have in the
doing
past.
a week.
I mean, a full week vacation
Full
for
week.
you. That's quite a commitment.
That's a big one.
Do you think you're going to be bouncing off the walls by like day 6?
By day 3.
Yeah, I know.
Monday,
I feel like that you
Monday
are that
I'm
way.
going to
Yeah.
be on the computer.
You're on the computer Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be doing stuff, right? You'll be working, whatever. Yeah, for sure.
Never sleeps.
I'm actually really glad to have you on. We're going to dive into kind of some of your Marine Corps background. I want to talk about that Project 22 because what people don't know is 22 veterans are committing suicide on a daily basis.
Every day.
And so I think it's really an important thing that we talk about, and I want to dive into it. And so, but before we get into that, it is now time to play. Oh, no. I need to welcome you to the Floors.com. Floors.com studio. It's Floors.com is FLOORZZ. ZZ.com. Floors.com is your one-stop shop for your next flooring or wall covering, remodel, or new build. I'm super excited about Floors.com.
No, I love this place.
Don't you have like government? There's a government ID if you have a government talking about
First responders.
Marine Corps veteran. I mean, if you have a government ID,
Yep.
you get 5% off of floors, and they will ship them to your home. So if you
Yep.
need floors,
big.
you can go online. They have designers too, Nate. So even there in Atlanta, you can, if you needed floors, like you want to do your basement, your kitchen, you want to redo them, right? And you can order this stuff. Even if you're a contractor, you've got a contractor that lays it down because I know you don't know how to do floors. And so you got a guy that comes and does this stuff. You know, hey, I know you're going to want a floor guy, but you need a person to deliver you floors. And I know they got stuff in Atlanta, but Mike has like the best. Floors.com has some of the best pricing. And with your first responder, government ID, you get 5% off.
Get it, Nate. You need
Big
some new
time.
floors, bro, up there in the
Yeah,
ATL.
for sure.
Yeah.
What, LVP, they got them.
Yeah, let's
Bamboo,
go.
they got them. Wood, they got them. Tile, got them. Name a floor. Just name one floor.
Cedar?
They got 'em.
Probably.
Probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mahogany.
Yeah, whatever you want, man. Floors.com got them. So check them out. Floors.com, you know we love them. But it is now time to play What the Hell Do I Know with Nate Becker. So 7 questions, rapid succession. You go as fast as you can. We're going to put a clock on. No gotcha questions, but here we go. Clock's on. All right. Number 1, toilet paper. Over or under?
Over.
Okay. Number 2, what's your go-to gas station snack?
Ooh. Man, beef jerky.
All right.
Slim
all
Jim.
right. Yeah. I'm
Slim Jim.
in.
I got to go Slim
Tabasco?
Jim. There's too many.
Tabasco?
No. Heck no.
Of course not. Number 3, would you rather fight 1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Ooh. So if you do one, that's commitment.
It is.
Right? So you do several, it's a little better. So several.
So you do the 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
100 duck-sized horses. All right. What song would you play every time you enter the room?
Ooh, Meet Me Halfway.
Okay. Meet Me Halfway. All right. Number 5, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
No.
Okay. Number 6, what is the worst haircut you've ever had?
The one I have right now.
That's funny. I think it looks good on you, man. All right. Number 7, right here, right now on my show, will you finally admit, because Mom and Dad are going to watch this. I know they will. So will you finally admit that
I'm the
every
favorite.
time you said I did it, that you were lying and that it was always your fault when we were growing up? Can you just admit it right here, right now on camera?
That it was always your fault?
Always your fault.
Always your fault.
You always cause
I
it.
will admit that it's always your fault.
Well, you just admit what's... All right, you're off.
Kinda
dots.
always
You're
your
off
fault.
dots. Forget about it. He's
Always
off
your
dots.
fault. Sorry, that went so bad for you.
No. You won't admit it. You won't.
I'm sorry that went so bad for you.
But we'll give you applause anyway.
Yeah.
Mom, Dad, he always did it.
Nope.
I promise you.
Always you.
I never caused the problems.
What about the pillow fight at the bottom of the stairs with you and Joe?
hey,
You didn't-
that was the
That
best.
was all his fault.
Hey,
That was the best.
Was that
that's
Nate's
bad.
fault?
That's bad. That's bad memories, man.
Yeah.
That's bad. You want to tell him about that?
Yeah, we had these.
So I don't see
beanbag
how that's his
pillows.
fault.
Well, he ran into the pillow.
Duh.
We happened to be swinging on it.
As you called him
But-
down the stairs,
Yeah.
come, Nate, come here.
Hey
He
man,
never learned.
him and Joe were like, they were like
Two big
I
brothers.
just,
Terrorists.
I loved them. I wanted to be around them so much. I was like, man, let me.
Oh my gosh, he would sneak in if we were like having spend the night parties. He would like sneak outside the bedroom or we'd had like this kind of play like a romper room or whatever downstairs in the basement, and that's where we called Nathan down because we know he'd always want to be there.
He wants to hang out with the older
He'd
guys.
say, "Come on down." We had these pillows
happy.
that were like
So
all
happy.
beans or whatever. They would sink to the bottom. You'd wind
them
that
up.
sucker up. It was like a punch. It was like we had gloves, probably 10-pound gloves, and he'd come down and you'd just go to swinging it. He'd like do a circle.
But that was
flop out.
That's his fault, though.
That'd be my fault.
So I've confessed this live before to my parents in real life.
So
and they know.
that's the only
I've
occurrence.
gotten in trouble for that, by the way. So it's over.
It sounds like it's happened more than once, though. It
We
was
did that
like
a lot.
normal
Yeah,
occurrence.
we did that a
Several
lot.
times.
That was always a lot of fun.
Did you go over the rope swing?
Yeah, we don't have time for every story. We don't have time
All
for
the
every
scars you
story.
put on this human
We
being.
don't have every time for every
Let's get away from the scars I put
He
on.
actually won on that one. He won on that one. That's why he wants to tell that story. So
I just
he
love
actually
hearing the
got
stories
one on
about
me.
you two when your mom would bring home a cereal box. And whoever got to it first got to eat the whole thing.
Yeah, no,
it's like I'm
no.
not sharing with my brother. I'm eating the whole stinking
Every bit of
box.
We had
Doritos.
Gone.
You get the
It's
bag.
my bag.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, you would eat it in one sitting because you didn't want the other to have it, and you knew that if whatever you didn't finish, they would finish it.
Yeah.
So I knew he would kill it, and so I was just like, well, I'm eating the whole bag. I mean, it's just, or I
So
won't
mean.
get. I won't
I've
get
got
any more,
stories
so, yeah.
we can't say on this podcast
Yeah.
about these two.
No, it's crazy. We had a lot of stories growing up. The rope swing, we were at my grandfather had 10 acres of woods, and he had like a ditch. He put a swing over it. And so my cousin and I were out there with Nathan, and he was always hanging around. We said whoever fell into the ditch on this rope swing was like a wimp or something. I mean, whatever. And me and my cousin got on it kind of together. It's like a little tire or something, whatever. So we swing out there, and the rope snapped, and we
And you
both went
fell.
into the ditch. And Nathan just thought that was the greatest thing that ever happened to him in his life.
Kind of was.
It was pretty cool.
Kind of was.
pretty cool.
Can't lie. It's kind
It was also during that summer that we convinced him that if he stepped on another stick, he was going to have to go to jail, and he would.
I was a
he'd be
goner.
arrested.
I was a
And so
goner.
we took it to the point where we picked up a phone, and you had the phones with the cords, and we'd start dialing with the rotary phone like 911, but you couldn't really tell.
Right.
Like you wouldn't hit it all the way. You'd be like, "Is this the wildlife police?" Yeah.
He stepped on another stick.
He stepped on another stick. We told him he couldn't do it. He's crying in tears, and he was really
all
young.
I
really
remember was them saying, "It's for your own good."
for your own good.
So this is an awesome segue. How mentally strong he had to be to become a Marine.
So yeah, for sure.
You
It really is.
you conditioned him for a lifelong
The training I went through
training early
at
on.
an early age, the training, the mental stamina that I had
100%.
from this guy.
100%.
You're going to be
Yeah.
in the Corps. Here I come.
We're gonna get to that because I always felt like Nathan was a very accomplished wrestler, and I always felt though that his wrestling, that I had a large part
Just because
to it.
he's
Huge
just
part.
Yeah.
some built-up
Large
anger.
part to do.
Or
Yeah,
big
built
brother.
up anger. You know, you beat him up enough, and
Yeah.
he's got some more.
He's got some motivation.
Some motivation. Well, you know, his wrestling coach.
Black Friday. You know, your parents would go and buy Christmas gifts and all
Yeah.
that. I called it Black Sunday because this guy would just beat the stew out of me
For 2 days.
for like 9 hours. I would get pummeled, and my parents would come
hey.
home. I'd be bloody.
And
They'd be like, "Are
Nate,
y'all okay?"
Stitches
Oh,
get
I'm sorry.
what? Stitches get what?
Snitches.
I'm sorry,
Stitches
sir.
get what?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
This is going
Stitches
to be
get
fun
what?
today, everybody. This is
I'm
going to be
sorry,
fun
sir.
today.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got a show to keep going. Here, but it's
My-
so
my
much fun.
apologies.
It's actually so much fun. I had a lot of fun those times for sure. But well, you know, when he was in middle school and he wanted to take up wrestling, he was always trying to find the sport that he was really good at. I mean, you played soccer, you did some other things, but you know, wrestling really was great. But what was his wrestling coach? Coached middle and high school at the time, small school, but Don Williams, still around today, so shout out Don. And Don Williams, he's coached a number of state champion wrestlers in his career, excellent wrestling coach, and I think he's retired now, right?
No, he's still
doing it?
going.
Okay.
He's in Whack-A-Mole, South Carolina.
All right, South Carolina.
Wow.
But he told my mom after Nathan went out for wrestling in middle school, and he pulled her aside and he said, "We've got to figure out what to do about his aggression." And now we've always known Nathan to be aggressive.
What?
And so mom
Where's that
looks at
come
him.
from?
She's like, "What do you mean we have to do something as aggressive?" In fact, that's everybody's always told me in sports he's too aggressive. Like he would go into a tackle really hard, or he would do whatever. He's too aggressive. He goes, no. He's got the right amount of aggression. We just got to figure out how to
bottle it up.
How to like no. He's
Funnel
got
that.
the right aggression in wrestling. We just got to figure out how to control it. And so once they dialed that in, his wrestling career really just, I mean.
You just prepped him. You just got him ready.
Well, it was. That's right. I mean, I just.
It's all
You-
Jason.
So
Just put it
he
in the
won.
bottle.
You won a state championship, right? So you feel like you are part of
No,
that.
he's a
thing?
state champion wrestler.
Yeah.
He really is. No, I feel like a third of it's mine for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Third of it's probably Don Williams.
Okay.
You know, and then a third of it
Third
Nate.
of it was real Nate. Okay.
Third of it was Nate. Just how it is. Mom, dad in there somewhere. Yeah.
Somebody drove him to practice.
I just say that. I just tell you, neither one of them hit him upside the head with a pillow. Neither one of them wrestled him to the
Challenged him
ground
mentally every day.
Wrestled him to the ground with spit in his face. Neither one of them would do all that.
Forced him to survive.
It's a wonder that you actually like me.
These are all true stories. I mean, everything that you said is true.
And there's way more.
You know,
There's
we
way
had
more.
So honestly, though, we had so much. I really had a lot of fun growing up with you, and I hope that at some point you had some fun growing up with me. We still
was
like
awesome.
to be, we do still like to be around each other, so that's good. But I do want to dive into because you served our country. I want to tell you thank you for your service, and you served our country in the Marine Corps, and you are a combat Marine Corps veteran. And so, what can you tell us a little bit about the Marine Corps? What made you decide to go into the Marine Corps? And just kind of like a little bit of some of your training that you've done, and maybe the war you were in.
Yeah. So we were.
Hey,
I was
can you
in-
move your mic down just a little? The whole thing, the arm. Yeah, that's good. That's good right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I went in the Marine Corps infantry. I went in 2000, 2004. Originally went in for college. I wanted to finish my college career, and
That's right.
GI Bill, best way to do it. And so that's when I decided to go in. And shortly after I got out of boot camp, Yemen was bombed. The ship.
Yemen, that's
yeah.
right.
And that's when, you're kind of like, well, okay, well, maybe this is not college, and, maybe
Those
there's
were
some other
Marines
things.
that were killed in that, right?
Marines and sailors, yeah. And then, I was infantry, of course, so we were gearing up to go on a MU, and which is a Marine Corps Expeditionary Unit, and 9/11 happened.
Okay.
And I was in West Virginia climbing mountains, and I was like, oh, okay.
I'm going to
What
get
were
a
you
call.
climbing mountains in West Virginia, though?
Well, we were my group was assault climbers. We learned how to do climbing and suspension and traversing, and
To assault
ropes,
and attack.
yeah,
Right?
to help units get up a
Is
mountain.
there like a saying for, because that's something that's interesting to me about that particular branch of service in Marine Corps, because I feel like everybody that goes to the Marine Corps is like a fighter. There's is there like a motto or
Well,
something?
every Marine's a rifleman. So
Every Marine's a
every Marine goes through some sort of combat.
do you learn
training.
like every Marine has like some sort of saying or thing that you learn or anything that just sticks out with you during that training?
I mean, there's a lot.
Is
I
that-
don't,
yeah.
I don't know
Some
if I
you
can,
can't repeat.
I don't know if I
Most of
can
the stuff
repeat.
it's not PG-13.
I thought there's like a Marine Corps motto or something that we attack, we do this or we do that. I don't know. I don't know if there's a Marine Corps motto, but at any rate, moving right along. But that's the thing I find about that. It's a fighting force. The Marines are. That's
right.
They're the fighting force to me of the Navy. Not that the Navy doesn't have. I mean, they ships and they do have a naval fighter.
Yeah,
But
so
the Marines are like there's an advanced fighting skill to them.
we are Department of the Navy, and I always
Right.
joke around we're the men's department.
That's funny. My neighbor next door, it was a pilot in the well, no, hold on. Let me back up. He was a pilot in for fighter jets, like in the Vietnam, and
Was he
telling me-
Navy or was he?
So I
yeah,
said,
Navy
so
pilot.
were you Air Force or something? He's like, I was a naval aviator.
Yeah.
He's like, calm down.
Come on.
I fought people. He was like, I fought people. I was a naval aviator.
yeah.
Yeah. So at any rate, go ahead.
But where were we at? Sorry.
That's exactly what happens in my
This is
head
what
every day.
happens. This is
That's
so good.
exactly what happens
I
in my
interrupted
head.
you. So, but you were
did.
telling me about the Marine Corps being the men's department of.
Yeah. So, and the Marine Corps. So, the original reason why the Marine Corps came about was to guard Navy ships, and so we just kind of took that tradition. It's more of a maritime fighting force, but really, it's a 911 force for all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, we see it in the riots that are going on. They grabbed the unit out of 29 Palms to help with that situation, and quite honestly, I mean, you can't get a better trained group. I mean, the Marine Corps does a lot of fighting exercises, but we also do a lot of non-lethal weapons training,
Oh, yeah.
or less than lethal is what they call
Yeah.
it, because you put anything in a Marine's hand, it's going to be lethal.
Oh,
so
okay.
they call
I
it
get
less than lethal, and hey, it's a professional force. I think they'll do their job as professionally as they can, but it's just unfortunate that
They're being
we're
brought in,
using them like that.
Yeah,
You know,
we don't want to put. It's
on
got to
our
be a big
soil.
decision to have on our own soil.
Yeah, it's on
federal.
our soil.
Federal. Our troops are to defend us, not to do that. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be a big decision when that's made, and so hopefully it's made with a lot of thought and forethought in mind. But it's a big decision.
Yep.
So what? Moving on though so you're in the Marine Corps. You're going through training. You're in assault rock climbing school because that's what you're learning. And again, attack force. And then what happens during that training, though?
So 9/11 happens.
9/11.
They hit the World Trade Center, and then they hit the Pentagon, and you kind of sit there. You're like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah, I feel like
You know.
even young people today that weren't born then, that might be listening to this show, knows what 9/11 is. I mean, it was
Yeah.
crazy. The day the world stopped.
it literally, like, they pulled us off the rock. I mean, we were actively climbing. I think, we got back to the base around 10:30, and we're all huddled around
Were you ready to
a
go?
TV.
Like everybody in the world was huddled around a
yeah,
TV.
we were just all huddled around, like,
Yeah.
what the heck?
What's going on?
What are we going to do? What's going on? And we were like in a small town in West Virginia. Like, there's nothing there.
Because
It's
you're
just
not training on a
small-
big base. You're
No.
actually like in a small
It
troop
was
learning
like
a
30
skill.
of us.
Yeah.
It was our platoon, basically. And, we were just kind of huddled around this TV. And I just remember, like, holy cow, this
Was you ready to
has
go?
really happened.
Were you like, it's time to go, man?
No.
These guys are-
No, this is real now.
I mean, this just brought a whole realistic life. And
that it's now not training anymore.
it's now not college. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going.
You're going into.
You're going to do something.
You're going to go to get training and do all this because it's massive amounts of peacetime, right? And so you're going to do training, and then you're going to you're going to do your 4 and go off to college. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's right,
But then all of
that's
a
right.
sudden, then
But-
it's like, nope, it's wartime.
Changing direction, yeah.
Yeah. So how was that first kind of experience when because you've had several different combat experiences. One being, when you were on the float and doing all that, and they were sending you around kind of clear out some stuff as war was happening, clear out some embassies.
Yeah, so I mean, we were actively spun up. I mean, we didn't really get to do anything.
Yeah.
But they had us on alert to.
I remember you were in like Djibouti, Africa. or
Djibouti,
something.
Africa, yeah,
Because I got a
we-
letter from you, and you're
Yeah.
like, I just want you to know I love you. This is where I'm at. I can't talk about it a whole lot and what's happening next, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I'm like here, and I think he drew a thing of Africa, and then like his butt, like encircled it. Like,
Here we go.
Yeah,
it made me laugh.
I'm somewhere
Whatever it was,
here.
I'm somewhere around here.
yeah. We opened the training facility in Djibouti, and we
So you're training up people there.
yeah. Well, we built the training facility for Marines to a stopping point so they can do some more training before they go.
Like just the climate,
Desert
climate, all
It
that
was
kind of
awful.
stuff.
Yeah, 120 degrees. I mean, it was awful.
Drink a lot of water,
Awful.
Nate, huh?
Oh yeah,
A lot of water.
Yeah, pounding water.
That's a lot of water, right?
Yeah,
that's
pounding
crazy.
water.
That's nuts. So then you went from there. So that, I guess, your first part of conflict when you flew into like Kuwait, right?
Well, when
Or
we
you in
went to Kuwait,
Your
we guarded a
was
base.
it Operation Iraqi Freedom? Was that the
So we
conflict
were
you're in?
Operation Iraqi Freedom, and we were guarding the base for 1st Marine Expeditionary Force.
Okay.
So we basically their headquarters. We guarded everything that's going on with their headquarters.
Okay.
And so that was, another point in my military career when the war had started. A rocket kind of flew over our base and hit out 25 feet outside of our base.
25 feet.
25
close.
feet outside our base.
Night and day.
Folks,
what time is it?
y'all walk 25 feet from wherever you're sitting, and that's what he's talking about, rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it hit right outside the base, right next to the fuel depot, and the warhead.
Oh, my word.
The warhead did not detonate.
Oh, it didn't detonate.
It didn't
So
detonate.
that's why you're
Crappy
still
warheads.
Crappy warhead.
That's why you're still
That's why
here.
you're still here.
That'd be one reason why I'm still here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then didn't the alarm go off like after it hit?
Went on after it hit.
Oh, it's incoming.
Incoming. It's already here.
I really thought to myself, like, holy shit. Like, sorry.
You're all right.
But,
You say what-
That one's an okay. It's PG-13.
Yeah,
All right, all right.
You can say whatever you want here.
well,
Well, you know.
within
Not
reason,
all
right?
Marine.
Yeah, let's not go
Let's not
down.
go
Yeah,
full
let's-
Marine on us here.
Yeah.
But that's when I was like, holy cow, this is really like, this is really going down.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe that they didn't, like, who didn't turn that system on?
Who's that guy? Who's napping? Who's napping on the job?
Where does he work?
Yeah.
With that job?
Did you need to put a gas mask down? At that point, you're like, it's all over, bro.
It's all over.
You had
Like,
one
what are
job,
we
bro.
doing here,
You had
right?
one job, bro.
Yeah.
Just
One
let me know
job.
it's coming.
Just be there. I will give the Patriot Guard missile
Yeah.
detachment some credit, because after that, we had like 38 Scud attacks.
Wow.
And not every single one of them. You'd run outside and you'd see
Oh, really?
rockets just running them down.
Exploding in the
Nah.
sky.
Exploding them in the
Wow.
sky. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
those guys are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I will tell you,
The
everyone.
one bad one that was a dud, we'll let it go. You're here.
We'll let that
You're
go.
here.
I'm here. But every time I see one of those guys, Amanda will attest to that, I buy him a beer.
Really?
I see that.
Any,
You could have been that guy.
any Patriot Guard detachment, I will buy you a beer, because they did it right 38 times.
Missed the first one.
39th
Happened to be a dud. It got through.
could be a dud. Yeah.
It was a dud, so it all worked out.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh, that's nuts, dude. So that conflict puts a lot on people mentally, and some of those people went through several tours and did stuff. You served in combat. You now serve in a different way, helping other veterans through even the VA. I know you really have kind of a core group of guys. I think it probably started out with anybody you knew.
Yeah.
And it's grown, I know some, just from other people finding out about you and going like, hey, Nate's out here, and you've kind of gotten some in with mental health and some context that they can go and list the people that they can help navigate this. What does that transition for kind of like a warrior to an advocate look like? Like why is that even in place?
Well, I can tell you that, it took me a long time to go back to the VA, because the first time I went, it was just a nightmare. Mm-hmm. Right after I got out, I went, tried to get some help. They sent me to a sleep study, and that was it. That was,
Thanks. I need a CPAP machine,
Yeah.
sure. But
You're like, hey, well, I can't sleep. I'm having nightmares. Oh, yeah, go to a sleep study. And then,
holy smoke. No, it's not this. I need a CPAP, sure.
Yeah.
But I mean,
but I'm having problems. Like every time I hear an airplane fly over, of course, I'm like, whoa, what is that? It's gotten better since then, but there's a lot of things that go on, and you know, you just kind of, I was like, man, I'm done with you guys. Especially, you know, they send me a packet of pills and say, hey,
my
take
God.
these, and I just
CPAP
never
and
took
pills.
them. I just never took them. Like I remember getting the bag and being like, what is this? I can't even read it. And so I just, you know, threw it away and never went back. I was like, man, I'm done. And fast forward to somewhere around, I guess it was 2020, somewhere around there. I was with you when I found the news that Daniel Morgan had
You were.
you know, committed suicide, and
Yeah, you were.
That really hit me.
Like
His dad's 70th.
70th birthday, and that's right. You had to step out of a restaurant we were at.
yeah.
And a good friend of yours, Dan, we'll tell our listeners, Daniel Morgan. I actually knew him. He wrestled with you in high school.
Yep.
He didn't serve in your military branch. He was Army,
He was Army.
but
Yeah.
he did serve through that conflict, and he had all sorts of
12
things
years
going
of
on.
service. I mean,
Wow.
he served this country.
But you had
12
just
years,
talked to
and
him a few days before, trying to get him help, and
I was talking to
to
Daniel Morgan every week.
Yeah.
It got to a point where I was talking to him every week before this happened, and just so happened that the 1 week I didn't talk to him
Yeah.
was I was in Florida.
You're in Florida.
And I missed his call.
Oh no,
And
that was the day he did it.
well, I don't know if he called.
No, I mean,
it was that week
that
that he
week,
did
yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
it just, you know, that kind of threw me to a loop. Like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
You know, I'd lost my staff sergeant Twiggs, you know, a few years prior to that.
Because you also had a hand in, I mean, not a major hand in the movie, but in the documentary. But I think they reached out to you and you helped do your pieces to
Yeah.
that his story, right? Mm-hmm. What's the
Irritable
name of,
heart. Yeah.
The Irritable Heart. So you know, I don't have it here today, but I'll try to throw up a screenshot of the Irritable Heart. But I know they kind of interviewed you
Yep.
in that movie. It's a really incredible story of his Marine sergeant and the battle within, where he ended up, him and his brother went off and took their own lives through this really crazy.
And he
mental
was
health
one that I never would have thought. I mean, he wrote books on
Yeah.
how to be a Marine,
Right.
how to, and he was working in Quantico and actively working in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
And so when that happened, I was like, man, you know, that was unfortunate. But then, you know, Daniel Morgan happening, and I was like, man, you know, why does this continue to happen? And there's been several others, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna find out.
So there was just some stubbornness in you. That
Yeah.
was like,
I'm-
you know what? This service is here, Veteran Affairs.
Yep. And so
I need to figure out how to navigate this, and that's just what I'm doing. End of story. Because Project 22, even before that point, because you
Still around, yeah.
right? But you loved it, and
Yeah.
you've done paddling for it, you've done, raised money for it, awareness for it, you've been inside it. But there was something though that stirred in you after Daniel. And you had lost people before.
yeah.
But something after that, it was like, what is like? There's got to be more.
It's got to
more.
stop.
Yeah.
And so I started to go and, you know, contacted a VSO, which is a Veteran Service Organization, which, you know, my opinion was kind of no help. And so
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, let me just do this on my own. And I've done a lot of research, and I learned how to go through the minutia. But quite honestly, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's absolutely hard. And you know, it's getting to a point where I'm going to have to start paying someone to help get through the process, because you have to be a lawyer to get through the minutia of this issue. And you know, even to now, and I don't mind saying it, but you know, last year I was able to see a counselor and you know, go talk to someone at the VA, and since October I haven't been able to talk to anybody.
Well, they just cut it off?
They just, there's such a long line, and there's so much red tape to get through it. You know, you have community care that, you know, they came out with, and can't even get an appointment with that.
Wow.
And so it's kind of funny, you know, I follow a guy on TikTok, and he had Doug Collins, the secretary of the VA, on. And Doug's like, oh, we're changing things and blah, blah. So my thing to Doug Collins would be, hey, get on an airplane, come down to Georgia, where you were a representative from, your home state, and let's go to Pike County, and let's see how it really is.
Yeah.
Right? That's my challenge to you.
Heck yeah. Hey,
Right?
Doug.
So-
Doug, we probably going to cut this into a reel. So Doug Collins get on a plane and get down to Georgia, and Nate Becker will take you around down to Pike, huh, Nate?
That's right. I'll take you to the VA in Pike County. It's a great facility. There's good people there.
Their hands are tied, though.
They absolutely are. And I could see the frustration in the lady's face. There's nothing I can do. And he's like, I know they're trying to change it, but, hey, change it.
What is the deal?
Stop fixing. Stop fixing to do it. Do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's taglines. Just do it.
Just do it.
The
baby.
red tape in the government is so...
We're supposed to be cutting that stuff in this current administration. We're supposed to be cutting the red
I think we should
tape
start with the
now.
guys that protect us.
Yeah.
Guys and girls that...
Well, when you
guys and gals that
served in a
protect us.
combat and we take people from this country and we say, hey, you're going to now serve and you're going to defend our rights, or we're going to deploy you to defend other rights. Whatever it is that this country says you're going to do.
They do.
And they do it.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you've got to stand behind these men and women when you put them out there. And can you watch any of these like war movies, things like that? I mean, like there's a new war. There's one out now, and it looks. I mean, I don't know that I can even watch it.
I want to see it, but I don't want to see it. Yeah,
you've seen the ones
seen
like War Force or War something.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it, but it's on it.
It looked, and it was written by like an active duty person or something, or shot by. I mean, I want to watch it, but I didn't even serve in that, and that looks like that could be massively triggering. Do you think that how do you think that plays out for the vast majority of combat veterans to watch something like that? Do you think it's 50-50? Some can do it,
I think it's 50-50.
no problem,
Some people deal with it. Some people deal with it really well. Some people don't. The way I think of PTSD is like I think of like a heat stroke, right?
Okay.
If you have a heat stroke, that messes your internal thermometer up, right?
Almost forever. Almost forever. It really does.
You can't deal with heat.
Forever.
You can't deal with cold that well, and you have an issue. I think that's the same way with PTSD. Is you're susceptible to, anxiety, to depression,
That's a great way
and
to explain it.
You're at a heightened or lower level, and so
That's a great analogy with the heat stroke. Have you ever put up hay in the barn in August? You know what that feels like, where you're so hot you're cold.
But it gets there, and it gets there quick. The next time it's there quick.
Once you get over that, and then you're so susceptible to even that you can't go like you used to.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a trigger. It's like, oh my gosh, you start feeling like you have the flu.
Yeah.
But like if you get too hot.
Yeah, that's the exact way, and that's the exact way with anxiety, depression.
Just like that trigger has been
that trigger
released. It's been pulled so many times. It's quick.
Yep, and you just get to the heightened sense immediately, and
Do you think talking with people, and again, it's probably 50-50, some people, and I think, do you think that's something too, is you need to normalize this idea though that everything's not perfect, and how you deal with it is how you need to deal with it, as long as it's healthy for you? Like, because there's probably Marines out there or other veterans that might be listening, they should, how they're feeling about it, just deal with, like, talk it out, work it out. Go to a range, maybe it's gun ranges, maybe it's a jiu-jitsu class, maybe it's a boxing, but find a way to get through it, right?
So it's funny that you bring it up, because it's not just Marines that I feel this way. It's every man.
Yeah.
You talk about mental health. Hey, let's just change it to men's mental health, because I think a lot of us
deal
need
with
it.
it.
Women do
right?
better. You think women do better? I don't know.
I think
women are stronger than men mentally. I have to give them credit. Maybe not emotionally, Brandon, but mentally.
Watch out.
I think they're more in
canceled.
tune with that side of themselves, and we kind of put up the shield like we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be okay, even though our brain is saying everything's not okay. Everything's not okay.
screaming no.
Our other part of the brain's like, it's okay. It's going to be fine. Just push it down. It's going to be all right.
Yeah.
And you keep pushing it down. You keep pushing it down. Then you explode.
And then it's a big burst.
By the way, I do want to throw up, I've got a picture of Nathan in the Marine Corps. We'll get Danielle to
What
throw
did
it
you
up there.
bench back in the day? I saw this.
Look at this photo.
Lordy.
Look at the
Look at
guns
this.
on that.
I mean,
What
this
did you
guy.
bench? A car back then?
I didn't work out back then.
Oh, you were just working
Yeah,
I
I was just, I did a lot of calisthenics. I could do 20 pull-ups.
And Brandon was telling me when he saw this picture, he said, I think him and Hillary Clinton and all the only ones to get away with blackface.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that anymore. Only Marines and Hillary.
So if you're listening, he's in complete combat gear in this photo, but it's what's that black?
Not
it's
blackface.
I know that.
I know it's not.
It's camouflage.
It's camouflage.
It's camouflage. Like his
But you
face
look pretty,
is camoed out.
You look
in the
pretty
picture.
and
holding a massive
ripped.
assault rifle.
Did all your boys look that ripped?
Yeah, we
nice.
hey man, the
Y'all
unit
were
I
ripped.
was in,
Y'all were pretty ripped, huh?
the unit I was in, we were pretty
What unit
good.
was
and 2-6. It was 2-6 Golf Company, and in fact, I'm still on a thread with a couple guys. You know, Cutter. I know you know Cutter.
Yeah.
He's battling cancer right now.
Oh, man. Sorry to hear
He's not a good outcome, but he's putting forth an effort, and you know, we text all the time. I text him every day. I text him this morning at 5:30 when I was in the gym. Pretty cool.
Nice.
They're like, God,
Awesome.
Nate's killing it. Good
That's
job,
great.
man.
That's awesome. Man. Which you do, by the way, you do look great.
You look sharp, man.
You were in
appreciate it.
fighting
Down
form.
here.
You are in fighting form,
You're
bro.
getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
You almost look like that guy on the picture.
if you
I'm
followed
kidding.
along, if you followed along the pod, Nate was in the first couple. You know, just as I was kind of bringing on different friends, getting to know us. You've come online before and called in through a phone on us. I think in this season you phoned in an episode and jumped on for a funny story. But if you followed along, Nate's gotten the fighting weight. There was a time
sure.
I think I said that you were one of the strongest wrestlers in in the Marine Corps they had in your platoon. I think you probably took everybody down in your platoon. But I said if you didn't want to go at Nate, he could still go, but it'd only go for about a minute. You might go more
go
now.
hard for a minute.
You might go
maybe
more
15
now.
seconds, but yeah, no.
You
I'm
can go
coming
more
back.
now.
Yeah. One of the wrestlers, he's like, man, you get down to 220, I'll wrestle you. It's on now.
All right,
It's on
I'll get
now.
there. Let's go.
Hey, I'm throwing the
you still
gauntlet
have
down.
it? You think you still have it?
Hey, just ask around, bud.
That's so good. That's so good, man. It was talking about wrestling. I mean, you're coaching high school wrestling now. What kind of lessons from the military do you bring into the wrestling room?
So we're really trying to focus this year on leadership and integrity. We had 56 wrestlers last year. And I told Coach, I was like, man, that's way too many because there's only like 3 or 4 of us.
Yeah.
And
How many wrestlers again did you just say?
56.
Okay, and Coach,
56.
you got it. You're
And Coach
assistant coach,
Danino,
so you're
yep,
at Joey.
so
Danino.
Coach Danino is
Give
our
him
head
props
coach.
because he was like coach of the year. I
Man,
mean, state wrestling champion. I mean, he's you got to give. That man is also
guy's
been
a
a
machine.
big. You know,
He's
I
a
give Don
machine.
Williams a lot of credit for helping mold you because there
Yeah.
were times in high school I think Don was really a great influence in your life.
Great person.
Right.
Great person,
right.
yeah.
But he also mentored Joey, and Joey's now been mentoring you as well, Coach Danino.
Yep.
And so you've had out of wrestling, you've had some incredible mentors for sure.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, not just the kids, he's probably been a mentor to you too.
Man, just to see this guy work, I mean, he's one of the best coaches I've ever been able to get around. And, he's the head coach. And there's
For sure.
like 3 other assistant coaches.
Yeah.
And none of us are employed by the school.
Oh, wow.
Right. So
Yeah.
we're community, what's called community coaches. So Coach Nino is basically,
himself.
he's the
Running
guy
it. Yeah.
by himself running it. We're just coming in and helping him in our spare time when we can get off of work, and practice starts at 3:30 and it's hard to get there sometimes.
So you got 56 of these wrestlers, and you've only got so many spots, and 3 of you to coach. And
Yep. So our big thing this year is going to be integrity. Hey, just doing the right thing when someone's not looking. Right?
Yeah.
Doing the right thing when someone's not looking,
Yeah.
when, letting us show a move, you completing the move, not goofing off. And, it takes leadership too. I've got a couple
Got to
guys
have some of your
on our
seniors
team.
step up, and they've got to do the thing too. So you got to instill,
Yeah.
and that's the thing, right? When you're mentoring kids, it's one thing to coach them, but it's also another thing to help them coach.
Yeah.
Because then you're mentoring that leadership.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and there's a couple guys that we're really going to lean on this year to step up and.
How you guys
be that
looking?
leader.
What you think? What's your shot with this team?
It's going to be rough.
Yeah?
Younger team?
Do what?
Younger team?
Young team. But we got some spots that we really need to fill in, and some weight classes that we really need to fill in, and it's hard to find a 106 pounder.
Yeah.
It's hard to find that in high school.
It is.
That's
That's a jockey. That's hard.
Yeah.
It is. That's a jockey.
At one point in time, we were pulling kids from the hallway. Just, hey man, how much do you weigh? Like, go. And we just couldn't.
I got a shout out. I had a state champion, I think 3 or 4 years in a row from freshman year to senior year, but it was a low weight class. Pat Cassidy was his name.
Yeah.
Wrestled for Indiana.
Yeah, they're corn-fed up. The corn-fed up
But
there.
he was a little guy, but man, he was tough.
Yeah.
Mean as snot.
Y'all found the
Pat.
106er up there?
He was tough.
I didn't get him down here.
I mean, I think that he was close. He wasn't where he was,
now.
but he could cut weight. He could cut weight down to that.
Yeah.
So that was impressive. You could do that.
They used to sleep in the bed.
Yeah.
Shivering. You can't do that stuff now. Now you
I
can
don't
try,
know.
but it's tough, right?
You know, I really appreciate the way Georgia high school has done things. Every year you have to take a hydration test before you get on the mat.
That
So
makes sense.
It makes sense. But we're the only sport to do it, right? Which makes me so
Why are the other ones
aggravated.
just not doing it either? You're not cutting weight, but you still it would solve so many people falling out at
look at high school
practice or
football.
whatever.
I
In
mean,
the summertime,
you got these guys coming out. They're
good call.
They're 300 pounds and they don't drink water.
Yeah,
Right.
It's like, what are you doing?
And last year we had a wrestler that came out. He was 5% body fat. He wasn't cutting weight. He was just 5% body fat. So you have to go to this weight assessment, pay $20 to weigh in, and the doctor tells him, "Hey, you're 5% body fat. You need to put on some weight." And so he had to go and get another physical from his doctor, pay that extra copay, right?
Oh, wow.
And then go back to the weight assessment so he could wrestle. It just doesn't make any sense.
Which
Like,
is fine if you're going to do it with wrestling, but why not do it with all? Like if we're going to be safe for them, which is good, right?
It's
but
good.
Be safe with all the sports.
but do it for all.
Be consistent. Yeah.
Be,
I get
be
it.
consistent.
Yeah.
I don't know if it stopped these teenagers from heat exhaustion on a football field, but it certainly would help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a perfect time talking about, teenagers. It's a perfect time to talk to you about True North Pest Control because you got pests and critters. You got to take care of True North. Give them a buzz. Give them a call. Give them a shout out. By the way, Nate's there in McDonough, Georgia, and Atlanta, Georgia. They there.
Yep,
True
they're
North
there.
Pest. Go and check them out, truenorthpest.com. They are incredible folks. And we love them, and so they take care of mosquitoes, critters, all of it.
I
right?
seen some termite damage on a business
They
friend of
can
mine
do
this
that.
week. What damage termites can do and how fast they can do it.
Yeah.
Just call True North.
True
Let 'em
North.
just come check it out.
They won't take care of your teenagers, but they will absolutely get rid of all the other bugs and critters you got in your home. So give them truenorthpest.com. Check them out, and we will go back to the show. All right, man, we back. We back to the show. Little break. Had a chance to talk about True North Pest Control. Super excited about them. I think it's also it's really a time we don't. I want to point out that Juice is here in spirit. We have our Juice.
Hey, Juice.
Juice on the couch.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Man,
I like his wings. It's like a Santa elf gesture.
Well,
wings
it's something I saw in the garage that I guess
On the
we
way
had
over.
for Christmas on the way over, and it had gray. It was gray, and I thought Juice has got a lot of gray in his beard, and I thought, it kind of matches him. I tried to find a tank top.
Where do you
'cause
see
that's his
gray?
the beard, right? It's white. Actually, it's white. You're
Yeah.
right. It's white. Well, that's also kind of like Juice. I was being nice with the
I
gray.
get it. Got the gingerbread there.
Yeah,
It's so
again,
festive.
juice on the couch. You
I
can
like
get
it.
it at $29.99 coming out to you this Christmas.
Wow, right from the Jabroni website. Get it at the merch store.
We need to do one like a small little juice on a couch, and like that's what, and
You're
that
looking
can be the
sharp
thing.
today.
That can be the thing that scares your kids all Christmas long.
This ain't scaring me right now.
But since juice on the couch is here, let's do the Delve cards
Let's
in
do
honor
it.
of Juice. Let's get our music going there.
I think, we need a juice song.
Yeah, we need a juice.
Juice, oh juice, where are you? We're waiting patiently for what you do. Google Guru, he'll make it right. In a flash, he'll solve the fight. Oh man, he's good at poker, that's right.
Chill.
All right. Tell me about this Delve card, JB.
Yeah, so you just pull one, ask the question. So Delve cards are great. We used to do this with our kids when they were all in the home. And Nate, this is really good. I need to send you a box of these Delve cards. But, your kids come in and they're sitting around the table and you go, how was your day? And, well, whatever. Whatever. We would pull out a Delve card and their conversation questions. So we're all going to answer the question, however you want to answer it. But parents, again, DELVE, Delve cards. You can search them out. I think it's Boardwalk Games. Search them online. They're great conversational questions, and they're safe for the whole family. So
here we go. If you had to move to another country, but could pick any, what would you like, and why would you choose that?
I would like to understand the question again because I feel like you missed a syllable.
No, I did. Maybe if you had to move to another country,
Okay.
what would you pick and why?
What country would I pick?
yeah,
Okay,
country.
so what country I'd pick? All right. And
You
why?
guys have traveled way more
I had-
extensively than I have, especially you on a Navy ship. You've
mean,
been all over the place.
I'd be Spain.
Spain.
Yeah,
Why?
I go to Palma. Well, because I speak Spanish, so that helps.
Do you really?
Well, it's like
Are you
hola,
fluent?
hola, como está? Muy
But pretty
bien,
fluent?
gracias, y tú. Perfect.
Baño. is
Chicle
what I
en
got.
la basura, por favor, señor Becker.
Yep.
Done. So I've got a lot of that stuff, and then some bad words. So yeah.
So you know just enough. Just enough to get around. So Spain. All right. Never been there. How about you?
Wow. I'd say the Philippines.
Really?
Yeah.
Just watch a show in the
Philippines.
Philippines. Cost of living there is incredible, right?
Super cheap.
Why would you say
Super
Philippines?
cheap.
Why would you say
5-star hotels for like $100 a night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would you go-
Beautiful.
why would you
the
go there?
people are
Yeah.
great. The food is amazing.
You've been there in the
I've
military,
been there,
right?
yeah. Zamboanga.
Is that the name?
Say that again.
Zamboanga.
That's a great town name.
Great name.
That is great.
Great name.
I don't know where I'd go because I haven't been as many places, y'all. But I don't know. I like to hunt, so probably Canada. They have big animals
Canada?
up there.
Seems cold.
And I can get back to. I can get back to.
Seems cold.
I can get back to. I like America. I don't know. I can't live anywhere else but here. But
Yeah.
I'm very biased towards this country because we have so many comforts. We have
It's a good
ice.
spot.
We have ice in our drinks.
Yeah.
We have air conditioning here. This is great. America's pretty good.
It's really good.
Sorry.
No,
ahead.
I think it's great. We talked a lot about wrestling, but I did want to say you're adding that integrity back in on it. But what I wanted to tell people is, and this would have to almost be another show one time, I tell them the story of when you won your state championship, because that was such a great moment. Nate won the state championship wrestling one year against a guy that came out like they used to do it really cool back then. It was like in the Rome Coliseum. And so every match for that class would be the center match. So the entire Coliseum was looking at just one wrestling match in one weight class all the way through. And they would darken the lights, dim the lights, and they would spotlight the wrestlers as they came in. So you kind of had this walkout, like you were like WWE sort of walkout. And you would come out, and this guy walked out like Mike Tyson.
What was your weight class?
152.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, that's not where you live. I mean, what was your normal weight in high school?
Probably walking around, probably 160, 165.
Not bad. So you
somewhere
didn't have
around
to cut that back.
No,
No.
It was amazing. In fact, what's nuts is I found a video of Nate's wrestling. And so, did we just lose the wide camera?
Oh,
Oh, good call.
they're just checking on my time.
No,
timer.
hey man, I'm just, she's right. I need like what's funny is I just need to start the timer so I can make sure we can stay on track. So
I like it.
I'll minus it like 10 minutes or something here. What's funny is that I need like a talkback time or something from her so I could hear just her. 5 minutes, yeah. Okay, cool. So at any rate, Nate, I did find a video of you wrestling, so I'm going to get Danielle to throw it up, and it found, this is your state champion.
Oh, this is it.
That's it. That's it.
So the dedication to get to this level of lightsabering.
It's amazing what kind of skill you have to go through to possess
Now, how do you decide who gets the kill?
Look at the jump.
Oh,
it was a stupid jump.
Yeah.
It was
I
a
see it.
stupid
Yeah.
jump that got him.
He didn't do that extra
deserve
move.
that.
That extra
Yeah,
move was a
he
show
didn't
off
deserve
move.
that. Great.
So when you have that show off move,
You know
Where'd
what's so
you find
funny
that?
is on the internet, on the interwebs.
The webs.
You know what's so funny is that so our listeners online, if you're listening to this in the car or whatever, I just showed two guys fighting with lightsabers. It's
Real lightsabers, like
It's
the
evidently a
series.
real life competition. I mean, they are fighting, and they're adult men.
Wow,
fighting
that was intense.
in lightsaber competition. And I think there's a referee in it.
There's a referee and a timekeeper.
Good
I mean,
night.
that's
Yeah.
insane.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
That's insane.
Well-
It's like the ones that are like dressing like dogs and going through the hoops or something. I mean,
seen
there's
some of
like
that.
some
That's a lot.
crazy
Have you
stuff
seen the horses?
that's happened.
Yeah, with the
yes.
ponies.
Yeah.
and
Yes.
that's
That
incredible.
looks like it's hard.
That is full go.
I mean,
They're
you-
like
you
all
have to-
in.
You have to really train.
Like I don't want to like shame anyone into what they are
No,
desiring.
if you're going to ride a pony on a stick, do it at
I
the
would say your
highest
commitment-
level you can.
yes, just yes.
Go for it.
At
You
the
know?
highest
Commitment is
level.
there.
Commit to
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I get it.
No, that's so good.
I mean,
but this competition though, his state championship was so good, and he came out and won this thing. He did some like Granby roll, which I think if you're a wrestler out there and you've heard this, he basically somehow like rolled upside down on his head out of this move with like 5 seconds left in the match and down by a point or two. And so he gets an escape by doing some sort of backflip over the guy on his head, like his head's like his pivot
like you torque
point
your
or
neck. It's probably not good for the
his
the
coach,
spine.
He did it in practice a few months earlier, and his coach told him, if you ever do that again, you're off the team. So,
Until he won the state championship.
and then he did it in the state championship match.
I guess I'm off the team.
And he winds up, after doing this move, he's behind the guy, and he lifts up, and my dad and I, this time they would have you on the sidelines. So we're like, ringside, so to speak. And it's an elevated mat, and we're like on the ground, like looking at him eyeball to eyeball, going, "What do you need? What do you need?" And we're screaming it. I mean, at the top of our lungs, we're just, do you want it? And his arms are popping, and every vein in his head's popping as he lifts this guy up, and then the guy's like shaking like a turtle. And then he throws him to the ground, and it's 2 points, and it's like
escape.
3-2-1. Well, he had the escape, and then he had the 2 points, and he won by like a point for the state championship. And there's a video somewhere circling around that is me like you're getting it.
Yeah.
I think you can kind of see my head bobbing up and down from the bottom of the camera, the way the camera is, and I'm just like, I'm celebrating like
You were
I just
definitely
won
more
the Super
excited
Bowl.
than I was.
I was more excited than Nathan was, because he's just like, yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
He can't
Yeah.
breathe. And you're like, yeah. He's
I'm like
"Oh, what
running
happened?"
around the Coliseum, like, my brother just won. But then he goes over to the stands, right? And then what do you say to the stands?
Is this PG-13?
He's like, he does a whole Ric Flair impression. at the
No,
stand.
you didn't.
He did.
He's like, woo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that was.
Nice.
He showboated. He's like, I like fast cars, fast women.
High school.
In high school.
Might have been these alligators can't keep me down. Something like that. I don't know.
That's great.
It was so good. It was amazing. Didn't you run into that guy years later?
Man, yeah, he was at a wrestling tournament. His son,
He turned his life went
Oh,
down the tubes
yeah.
after Nate.
Oh,
defeated
that was it.
It was
Ric
like,
Flair.
So
I
he
mean,
peaked in high
he's-
school.
He
Yeah.
peaked
That guy.
right then. He's been in and out
Oh,
of
I thought y'all
rehab
were
his
talking
whole
about Ric
life.
Flair. I love Ric Flair.
I thought you met Ric Flair.
No,
Yeah, I met Ric Flair.
The guy he beat in high school, he's been in and out of rehab ever since, right? I mean,
Oh, no, poor guy.
I don't know about that. I'm sure he's a good guy.
No, was this junior, senior year?
So this was my junior year.
Okay.
Yep.
you broke your hand your senior year.
Senior
you
year, I
broke his
broke my hand,
right before.
So no repeat.
A few days before state, and
still wrestled and got third.
Yeah.
He basically wrestled with one hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the one hand tied behind your back. That's
Yeah.
that's the way-
Essentially, because he couldn't
that's what you do.
grab with his hand. And left hand, he's left-handed dominant. So he couldn't grab with his dominant hand,
got third. That's pretty good.
which I told you he's funky. I mean, the whole left-handed thing. I mean, there's so many things about
So many
this cat.
quirks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
many
so
things
many
about
quirks.
this cat. So many things. Hey, so let's get back to the show. For someone listening right now who has no idea what combat veterans deal with after coming home, what's something you wish more people understood?
That's a good question. Just give a little grace. That's these guys, they come home and they're spun up. Like I said, they're just at such a heightened anxiety or heightened awareness. Just you got to give them a little space to come in.
I like that. Grace is such a good word.
Yeah, just kind of hey, decompress, right? And that's another thing. I don't think that the military does that well. You know, you come home from a deployment, and they're like, hey, go spend 2 weeks with your family. Well,
How do I turn this off?
how do I turn it off?
Hey, go back to family mode.
How do I?
It's not like you came home from, you know, a milk run.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, a business trip.
Yeah, yeah. It's not
Right.
like you were in Chattanooga selling tires. You know?
Right.
Man, and I can't remember the name of the movie, but one of the biggest scenes was the guy coming
Welcome
home.
home, right? It's like
what?
Welcome. I think it's called Welcome Home.
No, Hurt Locker.
The Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker.
The Hurt Locker.
Because
When
he came home and it's just hard to
and
do
he's
that
just
switch back
standing,
on.
He's standing in the grocery store, and he's
Like,
like,
what am I
just,
doing?
What am I doing? He had such a pivotal role in the military, and he's standing it, going grocery shopping, and he's like, what am I doing?
Yeah, he's EOD. You know,
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
What am I doing in a grocery store?
Yeah.
This
And-
isn't helping my skill. I'm using no skills.
And
right now.
he goes for another deployment, and you're just like, man, you know, that's that guy found normalcy in
Chaos.
chaos.
Yeah.
So
Normalcy and chaos.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the combat veteran world.
that's
right?
kind of what some of these guys go through. Yeah.
That's honestly, it's a really good point to point out there. What was one moment, either overseas or back home, that truly shifted how you see life?
The rocket attack was a big moment where I was like, well, this is happening.
So yeah,
This to kind of carry on with that was when both my boys were born.
yeah.
It changes the guy,
that
doesn't it?
changes you.
It changes the guy.
Yeah,
It changes a lot for a
yeah,
guy when you get kids.
yeah.
What do you think changed when you? I mean, I know for me, but I would like to hear from you. What do you think changed? Like, what is something that changed for you then?
When they were born,
Yeah.
just
Like, what is the thought process that something? Because you're saying something changed. What?
how perfect they can be. You know, they're teenagers, so they're not perfect now. but how
The
perfect
day they were born, they were perfect.
Oh man, they were perfect.
so perfect.
Yeah, they couldn't do anything wrong. So now's a different story.
I always feel like I feel like too. It for me, the other thing was because that's a good point. How perfect they are, and then it's kind of like, well, how am I going to mess them up? You know, right?
Yeah.
They're going to learn from me, and I'm not perfect. You know, but that was the other thing I think that stuck out is just that life wasn't all about me. I mean, you start to learn that when you get married, right? It takes a while because I'm hard-headed. And I think you probably come from the same stock. So it's hard to learn that. But I think kids that's the biggest learning lesson that you really will ever have. In fact, I feel like when you don't have children, and God bless, there's plenty of people out there that don't have that opportunity. But we had a guest, Tyler, was saying he didn't think that was going to happen for them. Chef Tyler, the last episode. And but he tries to pour in and learn how to be selfless, right? He tried other ways. So you can learn it from other ways, but it's one of the biggest lessons you get from kids. You know?
Yeah. It is a weird feeling when you first see that kid. And I'm just speaking from a guy's perspective. Excuse me.
Is there another perspective you could speak
I
from?
don't have any other one but this one.
I want the gorilla perspective.
The gorilla.
Yeah.
But in that moment of seeing your kid, it for the first time, it was the weirdest feeling for me. It's like everything I'm doing in life really only matters for this thing.
Yeah.
Like I only want to live for this thing. Instantly. I'm like, whatever this is, I feel so much love for it, and I want like to protect it and keep it. And everything I have is, I'm gonna go work hard now. Now I'm really gonna go to work. So it was like just a different feeling. Like I want to do everything for this person.
Hey, that's one of the reasons why we're down here. Is my youngest has a ball tournament in Pensacola, and you know it's just getting ready for it. And I just want it to be perfect. You know, the car ride down here. You know, you're packing everything that they want down here, and it's just you're you know, selflessness. You know, trying to make it right for them.
Given the best experience, every opportunity.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing.
There's a legacy that happens with your children, right? You're trying to put on, you're trying to give them something. You know, I always tell people that's my legacy, is my children.
Yeah.
Whatever you think I do on anything else, and I mean, you can capture this video, and at some point YouTube won't be around. They'll get something else.
Yeah, right.
They'll dump my videos.
Yeah.
They'll block me for saying
I'm going to
something
save it somewhere on a hard drive
right?
somewhere.
Right, but but it's my children.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
I'm
the
leaving this
legacy.
world.
Yeah, I get it.
And they're good people, so I'm excited.
We
to see
all
what they
all
do.
three of us have great kids.
They
We really
are.
do.
Yeah.
Well, his son
Amazing
just
kid.
shows up, and I mean, it wasn't that long ago that I saw Justin, but I mean, he is in that stage where he's blowing up. And I remember Anderson doing that too, who's going to be a junior next year, and then Justin's in 7th grade, if I'm
He'll
right.
be in 7th grade.
And but he just stepped out of the car, and I'm like, good God, where
What
did
you
the
eat,
little
bro?
kid go?
You started growing.
Where's my nephew?
Yeah.
I don't know who this
Dude.
kid is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and it's insane. He just shot up. And do you notice that? Because I remember there were moments I just didn't notice it the same way. Because you're there every day. It's like a centimeter a day. You know, whatever
Yeah.
they're growing. It's like they wake up and they're like a foot taller.
Yeah, you don't see it.
Yeah.
If you see
Right.
somebody you
It's
haven't seen in
incredible.
months, you're like, holy crap, what happened?
You probably know it in your wallet by the fact that you had to get like 4 new pairs of shoes
Yeah.
and T-shirts and whatever else.
And them teenage boys can eat. Just
my
like you guys did
God.
back in the day. Like, man, how much
to-
protein do
I have
you
to
need?
hide my food now. Amanda,
You're back to survival mode with JB back in the day. Like, I mean that box of cereal.
I know,
You're
but I
not
had
getting
girls.
it.
I had girls and one son, so you're exactly right. Like you are in it.
So listen to
You
this.
two
like,
boys.
Yeah.
The other day, Amanda comes home from grocery shopping, and she's like, "Hey, I put all of our yogurt in the other refrigerator. They won't go in it."
Secret fridge. The secret fridge.
Well, you know, our mom started buying praline pecan ice cream because she knew we hated nuts and ice cream,
Oh, so she could have some ice
so
cream.
she could have ice cream. And then,
She
then one day
booby-trapped
she
the ice
showed up.
cream.
Well, she like
All the
Jedi
nuts were
knighted
in the
us.
bowl.
She Jedi knighted us until we decided either one, we were going to learn to like nuts, or two, we'd spit them out. So we would eat it anyway. It's like butter pecan ice cream.
It was horrible, but it's so
Horrible.
good.
But it had some sugar.
It had to get gone.
Kathy comes home. Where's my ice cream? Well, there's a bowl of nuts. There you go.
What you don't understand is Nate would wake up on a Saturday morning and he would take a loaf of bread and put butter and cinnamon on it and toast it.
Now, a whole loaf?
The whole
loaf.
How can you ate a loaf of bread for breakfast? That's
Don't-
incredible.
Hey,
I don't know what he
project on
did,
me.
man.
I did. So just
And he
butter and
wrestled,
bread.
he
Just
wrestled
butter.
152, brother.
Yeah, it's
I
butter
mean,
and bread
it's
for
insane.
breakfast. Just a
Yeah.
loaf.
We grew
Just
up
a loaf.
We grew up po.
Yeah. Just
It
a
wasn't
loaf.
that bad, Mom and Dad. We love it, but I don't know. We had loaves of bread and gallons of milk. That's the one thing we had.
I don't think they could keep milk. I mean,
probably not. I remember Dad used to do chocolate milk, and he would half and half it.
half and half it.
He would
yeah.
half and half it.
It'd be so
He was like,
chunky.
he would make that thing.
It'd be so chunky.
I didn't know till I was like 30 that chocolate milk was better
Yes.
than what the chocolate
Yes.
milk.
It is way better.
It's way better when
Yeah.
you don't half it.
Yeah. When you don't cut it. When you don't have to cut it.
They were cutting it like fentanyl.
I didn't
just need
realize
my
it
milk.
wasn't chunky. I was like, man, this is weird tasting.
I know. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's nuts. Oh man, well, there's some good times growing up in that house, though, for sure. I mean, you know, Mom and Dad had their own challenges, but you know, it's a shared experience, and I think that's where you get this. You know, when you have siblings, you there's only so many. I'm laughing so hard I'm crying, and it's stuff that's like inside jokes.
Yeah.
We have text threads that we just keep each other just chuckling half the time.
I'm on some of these, and they
Yeah.
are good text threads, everybody.
Yeah, occasionally we bring in other people. Joe gets a lot of it because
Joe does get a lot of it.
so long. But we have text threads that, quite frankly, we'd be canceled if you saw our text thread.
I read them. I wouldn't be canceled.
I don't
but-
know
but
if
some
I'd say
people may.
canceled.
That-
Maybe
it's not
you
that
would
bad.
be
They're not
canceled.
bad.
It's not my fault.
It's not your fault.
It's never Nate's fault.
He'll never admit it. He'll never admit it, Willie. Let's get back to the show. You've lived
Tangent. We do a lot of tangents,
A lot of
Nate.
AD&D. You've lived with discipline, grief, service, brotherhood. What still motivates you to keep showing up for others, even on the hard days?
Oh man, of course my family. You know, my wife has been a pretty good rock for me, and you know, just being able to come home and see their smile, and you know, sometimes that's all it takes. You know, just them coming home. Sometimes it's a little bit of, you know, hey guys, y'all need to go upstairs.
Yeah, I get you.
But
Keep it PG.
yeah,
13.
but that
Yeah.
just family.
Yeah. Family's super important. I know it's really important around you. You do a great job of reaching out, and you always. He'll butt dial me even. It's great.
I've never got that.
He stays
but
on.
That's
man.
okay.
He stays on it. He calls me a good bit. I actually really appreciate it. The way he reaches out and it means a lot to me. Quite frankly, I know I actually think you have a stronger family bond. So my core family, I certainly have a bond, but I think Nathan even that's something in me where Nathan has a stronger even bond in that he'll reach out. You're always better reaching out to me than I am reaching out to you. And I want to be better every day. I want to try to do better but it's something in me.
Yeah.
It's just the way I'm wired where that's a little difference.
Yeah.
But I want to tell you, I do appreciate it. You know, even when you aggravate the hell out of me, you call me and I'm like, dude, I'm right in the middle of something. But I really appreciate it because it's a true act of love to let somebody know that that
You did
you're
this
calling them out
this
and
week.
thinking about it.
We had a fire at the buildings this week,
Right.
and you called out of the blue. I'm like, what's up with JB? He's calling
trying to get
during
better.
the week.
I really
What's
am.
going on? And just checking on to see how the fire went. So the fire's good. The fire's out. We're going to deal with it, and it is what it is. We're moving on.
I'm trying to do better.
Sometimes he
Yeah.
just calls and says good night.
I haven't got that one.
Just thinking of you.
I don't think
You
I've
did
got
get that one.
You did
And I
get that
called
one.
you and said
Oh
good
yeah,
night.
that was weird. I was in a parking lot in Indiana. He's calling. He's like, "Tell you good night." The sun's still up. I'm like, "What's he talking about?"
So good night.
Yeah, good night. All right,
Sweet
good
dreams.
night. Sweet dreams. All right. You too, bro. Love you. See ya.
I had to text everybody afterwards because like, are you okay? And I was like, it's a trend I was just doing.
It was great. The reel was funny.
No,
It
that's
was
good.
funny.
So kind of wrapping the show up a little bit, if there's a veteran out there that's dealing with PTSD and they don't know where to go, we've flashed up your Instagram handle. Maybe we can flash it up again. There's Nate's Instagram handle because I want you to they could reach out to you on DM you on Instagram and you may not be able to get them. It's so convoluted, but you have been so stubborn on figuring things out, and you've helped other guys navigate to go. But what would you tell them the number one thing the first thing they should do? If somebody calls you and says, I don't know where to go, what would you tell them to do?
Hey man, just keep moving. Just keep moving. You know, that's a thing that I got from wrestling. You know, you never sit still. Just keep moving, right? And so whatever you're doing, just keep doing it, right? Just keep grinding.
Don't sit still.
You know, don't sit still. Keep plugging away. Keep going to the VA. Keep doing something. Right. If you stop, then
that's when it gets in your head.
That's when it'll get in your head. Just keep moving.
So even if it's like you're going to now attack this, that's like the mentality you almost have to have. Even if you're going to attack this, attack it like you would.
Attack it like you would any other time.
Any other thing, Marine. Pick it up. Let's go.
Elephant is eating one bite at a time.
Yep.
You know,
That's right.
just keep grinding.
That's good. That's
Right.
good. That's good. So last question, I've been asking everybody this question pretty much this season. So I'm asking it to you. What would you tell your 25-year-old self looking back? If you could go back and tell your 25-year-old self anything, what would you tell him?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
All of it.
Don't do it. All of it.
I was going to ask a clarifying question. One part, Nate. All of it.
Don't worry about it.
If you thought about it, if you thought about it that long, don't do it.
Don't do it. That's the best answer I've heard so far. Don't do it.
That's actually good. I'm not upset with that advice.
That's good.
Well,
That's good, man.
Nate, it's really quite a pleasure to sit with you today
Absolutely.
and talk with you. I'm looking forward to spending the rest of my 4 days that I'll get with you here. I'm really looking forward to it and the time. And this episode won't release on Father's Day, but we are actually going to get to spend Father's Day together, which may be a first
For the first
Father's
time
Day
in a
for us.
long
Happy
time.
Father's
It's a
Day,
long time.
everybody.
So I'm-
Long time.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Congrats.
So all you fathers out there that are out there, man, I just want to tell you Happy Father's Day as well too. But yeah, so thanks, man. You're a great brother. I'm not a so-so brother. You're a great brother, the best brother I've ever had, and there's no other to compare to.
One of the best hunt trips I've ever been on is Nate. We had a ball, man.
He's
Had a
always
ball.
fun to be around, dude.
Yeah.
He's always fun to be around. Well, you've traveled with us,
Oh,
Nate,
man.
a decent bit.
I've laughed
We
so
did
hard.
Athens.
I think,
mean, we just cut up. And
yeah, we've
it's a
done
lot
some
of fun.
Georgia
Yeah,
games. We've done some fun stuff. Yeah. I appreciate you fellas including me into the little group, man. 'Cause
Yeah.
you guys, your stories are better than mine. Between the two of you,
We've got a lot of
you got
stories.
better
Got some
stories
good
than me, and I
ones.
Yeah,
love
we've got some
stories.
good stories,
So.
Yeah.
no doubt. Well, this is a section I like to say, listen up, kids. So listen up. It's so good to have a brother, and it's great to have somebody, but it's really great when you both decide that you're going to pour into each other, and life is really hard. And I love what Nathan said when he talked about PTSD. And so I want to just thank all the veterans out there that have fought for my freedom and the freedom of others, and that you defend this great country of ours. And so if you are struggling, I want you to tell you that there is help out there, and we will flash up a hotline for help throughout this. I'll do it in some postscript, but I want you to have that hotline and know that there's help. And just like Nathan said, keep moving along. And those of you that haven't been in the combat veteran, let's try every day to walk with more and more grace for each other. Or don't. I mean, what the hell do I know?
What the hell do I know? I'm just JB, middle-aged dad with ADD. Candid combos, jokes so lame, jabronis pulling a poker face. Just a couple of dudes with ADD. What the hell do I know? With JB.